Hey Valley Middle, welcome back to another G67 math video. Tonight we're going to be working on finding the volume of cones. Let's start with a cone-related trivia question. What is the world's record for the largest ice cream cone? Be back with the answer to that and much more. Officially tonight, our target is I can find the volume of a cone. Let's do it, a sting. All right, it's gonna be an easy target tonight. What is the volume of this cone? Well, you'll recognize that formula. That's the same formula we use for finding the volume of a pyramid. Unfortunately, sometimes on the cone, we're going to have to find the area of the circle first and, therefore implement pi. Tonight we'll be using 3.14 for pi. So let's take a look at this ice cream cone here, the sugar cone. It has a diameter of 2 inches. Therefore, our radius is 1 inch. So we're going to use the old pirate pi r. So we've got 3.14 times 1 times 1 gives us 3.14. Now we're ready to find the volume. So we take that base, 3.14, we multiply it times the height. We have 14.13. Then we divide that number by 3. We have 4.71. The volume of this ice cream cone is 4.71 inches cubed. Let's take a look at some vocabulary tonight. First of all, a cone is a solid or hollow object that tapers from the circular or roughly circular base to a point. Our formula, pi r, that'll be for finding the area of the circle. We've got a couple of different ways we can put this into the calculator. We can go base times height divided by 3. We can use 1/3 base times height. This is the one I prefer, just base height divided by 3 written as a fraction. And that works for a volume of the pyramid or a cone. The word cone got cut off there. All right, also, just a couple quick vocabulary words here. We know the radius and we know the height of a cone. This measurement over here is called the slant. Sometimes we'll be given the slant measurement. Really, that's just a distractor for tonight. We don't need to use that, so please be aware of that. All right, let's find the volume of this cone here. Looks like we've got a height of 6 and we have a radius of 2. So let's go ahead and pop that in. Here's the area of the circle, 3.14 times 2 times 2, or pi r. That gives us 12.56. Pop that into the other formula, 12.56 times 6. That's 75.36, and we divide that by 3, we find 25.12. So the volume of this cone is 25.12 centimeters cubed. Let's try another. Just inverted the cone. This time we have the diameter, so we have to make sure to cut that in half and get that radius. So our radius would be 4. Pi r would be 3.14 times 4 times 4, giving us a total or a product of 50.24. Take that 50.24, we multiply it by the height. We have 602.88. We divide that by 3. 200.96. So our volume of this cone is 200.96 inches cubed. When you're working with pi and larger numbers like this, sometimes you're going to end up with a very long answer. So watch in the directions to see if you're supposed to round that answer to the nearest 10th, 100th, or 1000th. There are a couple of those coming up. Here's one right here. Express your answer as a fraction. So please pause the video and find the volume of this cone. Express your answer as a fraction. Go ahead. All right, let's take a look. Well, if you found the base correctly, it's pi r would be 3.14 times 5 times 5, giving you a base on that circle or an area of 78.5. Multiply that by 10, you have 785. Divide by 3, it's 261.6 repeating. Well, 0.6 repeating is really 2/3. So our answer is 261 2/3 centimeters cubed. All right, on this one, we'll be rounding to the nearest 100th. Go ahead and pause the video and give it a shot. Okie dokie, let's see how you did. All right, if you found the area of the circle properly, you used a radius of 1.75 based upon a 3.5 inch diameter. So 3.14 times 1.75 times 1.75 gives you 9.61625. Multiply that by the height of 4, you have 38.465. Divide that by 3, you have 12.82. 12.82 inches cubed. Again, if you're using a pi button on your calculator, your answers will be slightly different. This is basically for 6th and 7th graders using a function calculator without a pi key. So that's why we're abbreviating it to 3.14. All right, here's your ticket to the show. Find the volume of these two pyramids. We have a height of 12. We have a radius of 5 feet here. Here we have a height of 18 and a radius of 7. All measurements are in feet. We have a slant height of 13. Okay, let's take a look at this. What is the world's record for the largest ice cream cone? It's not quite as big as I thought, but it's fairly recent. It was 10 feet, 1.26 inches. Look at the size of that thing. It was in Norway on July 26, 2015. I guess they lifted it by helicopter. That's what they lifted it by helicopter to a tall ship festival in the harbor there, and they all shared it. That was kind of cool. All right, thanks for listening. Looks delicious. All right. Oh, one more thing. How can I mention ice cream without mentioning my favorite place in the world? Grand Ole Creamery. Let's see if I can get it to ungroup here and get it out. Quick. Here it is, the Grand Ole Creamery on Grand Avenue. Best ice cream ever. Thanks for listening. Bye.